What do you normally do when you're feeling stressed what do you normally do when you're feeling stressed or anxious after a long, busy, or stressful day of teaching? Do you head to your pantry to stress eat, doom scroll on your phone, buy something to make yourself happy for retail therapy, maybe lash out at your own kids over something small? All of these things are normal and human. We've all done it. I've done it. But processing our emotions is what allows us to move through them rather than doing any of those other things. So today I'm going to lead you through a guided exercise to do when you're stressed out. You're going to want to save this episode to pull out over and over and over again. So let's get going. Welcome to Educate and Rejuvenate, the podcast to help you revitalize your teaching, renew your spirit, and reignite your passion for life. I'm your host, Kelsey Sorensen, a former teacher, current homeschool mom, published author, and certified life coach. Whether you are a teacher in a traditional classroom, homeschool from your kitchen table, or anywhere in between, I am on a mission to help you not only survive as an educator, but thrive. Get ready to uplevel your skills with incredible insights from guest experts and discover the missing piece, rejuvenating yourself. Are you ready to both educate and rejuvenate? Let's go. Welcome back, or welcome to the Educate and Rejuvenate podcast. I'm so thrilled to be here with you today. Today's episode is a bit different than anything I've ever done here on the podcast. I'm going to be airing a coaching call I did with my members. And while I've done that maybe one or two times, this is even different than many of the coaching calls that I do. I'm airing an actual exercise we did together to process our emotions, which was one of our members' favorite calls. So I think I'm going to plug in a call like this here and there into our schedule, because they're so helpful for us to just come together live and process our emotions and validate each other and do it together. When we do it together, it's so powerful. But even the recording is just so powerful for us to be able to utilize again and again. Now, the reason why this is so important, why we need to allow our emotions, because you might even be like, what do you even mean by a guided practice for processing emotions? Now, what we normally do is we avoid our emotions. That's when we try to doom scroll or retail therapy or go to our pantry, try to do something to distract ourselves from our emotions. That's what I feel like most teachers, that the most common thing I tend to hear. We also tend to resist them. We try to just push it away. Nope, I don't have time to feel that right now. I can't feel it right now. And we just kind of push and push and push. And then it just bottles and bottles and bottles up. Or we react to it. We do things out of fear, out of stress, out of anxiety, lashing out at our kids, or drastically cutting expenses when we're afraid of feeling that scarcity, that pinch in our wallet with inflation and everything. But maybe you're you're suddenly cutting things that really matter, right? Maybe you're doing that. And I say that because I've totally found myself doing that. And again, that's just when we realize I am doing this out of my emotions rather than getting grounded into my rational self and what is going to help me move forward the best in my life. So this exercise is to help us allow and move through our emotions. So instead of avoiding them or letting them just buffer and sit there and fester and get even bigger, because unexpressed emotions never die. We've talked about that, right? So we're allowing ourselves to move through it and feel it and notice that it's still there, but notice that it's simmering down a little bit. So for this one, it was an exercise to do that. I even played some music in the background. It's really kind of like a group meditation almost, with me asking you some questions and things like that, some calming music. So without further ado, let's get into that clip. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited for today. Go ahead and hit play here. We're going to start already with some music to set the mood for today's call, which is a little bit different than other calls we have done before. So I'm really excited for today. Today, we are going to move through and process our emotions with a guided practice together to feel, process our emotions. I'm just here to hold that space for all of you. If you're in a spot where you're able to, you might want to grab a pillow or a blanket and get comfortable depending on where you are. Some of you might still be at school, or if you're driving or you're making dinner, you're multitasking, that's totally fine too. However you're here today is totally valid, and you're going to get something out of it and be able to move through your emotions no matter what. But I love getting cozy with a blanket or pillow or whatever when I do things like this too. I am proud of all of you for being here today, all of you who are here live, anybody who's listening to this later as well, for taking this time to do this, because usually most of us go about just holding on to our emotions, bottling them up, or trying to push them away, or having outward reactions to our emotions, or distracting ourselves from them, rather than actually just feeling them, moving through them. So today what we're going to do is make a conscious practice of allowing these emotions. And a lot of emotions tend to come up this time of year, right? So if anybody would like to, anybody who's here live, if you want to pop in the chat and let me know kind of what are you feeling right now? Are you feeling some end of year fatigue? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you feeling content? Are you feeling tired? How is it that you are feeling right now? And a lot of times we don't even take the moment to ask ourselves what we're feeling. So that's what we're doing now. What is it we're feeling? Naming our emotions is so powerful. Naming our emotions helps us tame them, as Dan Siegel tells us. And a lot of emotions come up. End of year fatigue, overwhelm, all of that. I'm going to just make sure I'm on do not disturb on my phone so it doesn't disturb us right when we get into the actual practice. Okay. Vanessa says overwhelmed, exhausted, crabby. Yeah, those are some common emotions that I bet a lot of fellow educators who are listening might be feeling right now too. And I've been feeling a lot of overwhelmed. And I've been feeling even personally a little bit of like end of my rope with some things, just like earlier today. I'll share with all of you just to normalize this, right? I went to, it was before I had a podcast interview earlier today with Shannon and Mary from the Reading Teachers Lounge. And they're speakers at Educate and Rejuvenate. And my husband had a surgery yesterday. Some of you know our website has been having issues, especially yesterday. They're like working on it's a lot more stable now, but that happened at the same time as surgery, at the same time as some other personal things. So today when I went, I got myself my Coke Zero and my husband his slushie, because that's like all he can have right now with his surgery. And I dropped my Coke Zero and it exploded all over the floor. I just had a moment where it was just like, I am at the end of my rope right now. But then you know what I had to do? I had to come in, I had to like process and move through those emotions, right? Because I still have things I need to do. I still needed to take care of my husband and my kids and do their schooling and prepare for tonight. And I wanted to make sure I could really show up for all of you here. A lot of us are feeling these. Teresa's feeling overwhelmed with the end of year things, recovering from surgery. Oh, surgery. Man, it's tough, right? So healing on top of it all. Yes. And that can bring up a lot, right? So I'm so glad that you are here. We are going to do this practice together. So what this is we are going to move through our emotions. It's also like a meditation. So it's really, if I were to call it something, it would be a processing emotions meditation. So I'm going to guide you through walking through your emotions in your body, naming what you're feeling. Also then just kind of trying to get in touch with the present moment, not into the past, not into the future, but right now. So that is what we are going to do. As we do this practice, we are moving through our emotions, we are meditating, we're coming to the present moment, and just imagine the other educators around you doing that too, and sending our love out to each other and honoring each other's feelings, validating each other. And that is what we are here to do today. Oh, and the music is like cueing us. It's like, okay, it's moving in a little more. So I think we're about to get into the actual practice that we're doing together now. Okay, so just take sometime. We're going to start with just some breaths, right? We're going to start with 3 slow, light, and deep breaths. So as I was doing research for my book, I read this book called The Breathing Cure with Patrick McEwen. And in that book, he talks about how we usually breathe very shallow. We breathe into our chest. And we also, when we think of taking a deep breath, we think of a big breath. So we try to go like, and we almost over breathe when we do that. So what we're really trying to do is get in just enough air. So not too much. It's not about the amount of air. It's about it getting all the way down to our diaphragm. So all the way down, imagine it going, the air going all the way to the bottom of your lungs. So we're going to take some breaths. We want our breaths to last about 10 seconds. So what we're going to do is 6 seconds in and then a big 4-second out exhale. And then as you exhale, imagine yourself inhaling and then exhaling all the stress, the overwhelm, the tired, the crabby. Imagine yourself exhaling that. Okay, so let's do that together. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now exhale that overwhelm. Okay, we're going to do that a few more times. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it for a beat. Then exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Continue focusing on your breathing. Continue focusing on those slow, light, deep breaths all the way into your belly. Imagine yourself inhaling, remembering all the stress, all the things that went on in your day, but then exhaling to release all of it. Now ask yourself, now that you're getting in tune with your breath, you're getting in tune with your body, what is it that you're feeling? What is the emotion that is there, that is present in your body? Overwhelm, exhaustion, stress, tired, crabby, content, maybe some calm right now. What is it? What is the feeling called? Naming our emotions actually calms the activity in the amygdala, which is what causes a stress response. So by naming your emotion, right now, you are helping that emotion to simmer down. And you are increasing the activity in your prefrontal cortex, allowing you to regulate that emotion. So think about, name that emotion. Think about it in your mind. Imagine it. If you were to think of this emotion, what color would it be? Would it be red? Would it be blue? Would it be green or purple? What color would it be? Is it hard or is it soft? What does it feel like? Even like take your hands and imagine if you were to be holding this emotion in a ball, what would it feel like? Would it be bumpy? Would it be rough? Would it be smooth? Would you be able to squish it, or would it be hard? Would it be constricted? What would it be like? Is it open or closed? Do you feel your body opening up with this emotion? Or does it feel like you're kind of caving in? And this is just to notice. We're not having any judgment about anything that we're feeling. We're just noticing, what does our body feel like? We don't take enough time to do this, to notice what is actually going on inside of our body, what sensations we are feeling. Remember those deep, slow, light breaths. All the way down to your diaphragm. Now just remind yourself, I am feeling whatever that emotion is that you thought. I am feeling overwhelmed, or I am feeling stressed. And this emotion doesn't hurt me. It's just a sensation inside my body. And I am safe. Let's start with a body scan. What we want to do is we want to imagine, we want to really get present with this emotion. What does it feel like from the very top of our heads to the tip of your toes? But I'm going to guide you through each step. So imagine the top of your head, and you can imagine this like whatever visualization works for you. So a lot of times I say like a golden light going through your body, or you can just imagine, or you can even just kind of like an elevator, like going down your body and noticing like, okay, where do I feel it? Do I feel it in my eyes? Do my eyes feel extra tired? Do they feel like, do my eyelids feel heavy, or do they feel light? Just notice. What about your nose? Any congestion or normal? What about your mouth, your ears, your throat? Now our throat, this is like our throat chakra that Lizzie was talking about in yoga recently. This is where, are we speaking our truth? Are we saying what we need to say? Are we honoring our boundaries? Are we honoring what we truly need? And just notice that, because you might feel it in your body. Now keep going down. Your shoulders, are they tense? Are they loose? You can kind of roll your shoulders. Your chest and your heart. Open up your heart. Send that love throughout your body. Remind yourself you're safe no matter what you're feeling. Take another deep breath as you move down into your lungs. Sending the breath all the way down. All the way down to your legs, your root. Ground yourself in this moment. Now feel it continue to go all the way down your legs. What do your legs feel like? Are they tight? Your muscles? Do they need to stretch? If you need to stretch, if there's anything you're feeling right now, oh, I need to move this, I need to do this, do it. Listen to your body. What about your toes? Where do you feel it in there? You wiggle those toes. What do you feel? Now just notice how you're feeling right now, and even compare it to the beginning of this practice. How are you feeling right now? Because again, an emotion lasts about 90 seconds, and it can change as our energy changes, as our thoughts shift, as we're focusing on the present moment. You might feel different right now than you did just a few minutes ago. Breathe that in. And remind yourself again, you are safe right now in this moment. Anything that happened today, any stressors, or anything you're worrying about happening later today or tomorrow or next week, anything in the future that has just been really concerning on your mind. Again, it is valid. There's nothing wrong with any of those worries or concerns. They're likely tied into what you love, what you value. But right now, it does not have power over you right now. We are in this present moment. So as you notice those thoughts creeping in, coming in, remember, thoughts are like clouds passing us by. And just notice it. Be like, oh, I see you. I see that you're worrying about this again. And I feel you. Send love to that. And then just let that cloud pass by and come back to the present moment. Our minds do tend to wander as we start, especially as we start practicing meditation, or if we're just in a more stressed state than usual. Sometimes it's harder to get into that moment. So don't have any judgment on yourself for that happening if you notice your mind wandering. Just notice it. Remember, it's one of those thought clouds passing you by. And come back to your breath in the present moment. And visualize yourself inhaling that stress, the overwhelm, and releasing it with each exhale, and watching it dissipate as you breathe out, watching that stress, that overwhelm just dissipate like the wind, like the clouds passing by. And as you visualize that stress, that overwhelm, whatever it is, leaving your body, imagine that heaviness being lifted off of you, and you walk forward lighter. You feel lighter. You might still carry other emotions with you. There's nothing wrong with those, but know that you are ready to handle whatever comes your way, and that you can always come back to the present moment by taking those deep breaths, by tapping into your emotion. You are safe. You are loved. And remember that you are not alone. The energy of your fellow educators here with you today is here. And whether you are here on this live or whether you're listening later, we are here sending our love to you. We are here supporting each other. Continue those slow, light, and deep breaths while you're in this mindful meditation. Notice the sensations. whether you feel calm, like even if the feeling of overwhelm is still present, knowing that you're supported, knowing that you're loved, knowing that you can come back to this breath and you can feel calm. Continue those slow, light, and deep breaths. And start to make your way back. Imagine yourself coming back to this Zoom room or to this app or wherever you are listening to this. Wiggle your fingers, your toes. Stretch anywhere that you need to stretch. When you're ready, if your eyes are closed, go ahead and open them. This episode for just a moment, because while I love recording, sorry about that. It went on to the next thing. I thought I had that on repeat, but obviously it didn't work. But that was perfect timing, right as I said to open your eyes. Feel free to stretch anywhere you need to stretch. I always feel the need to stretch after meditating or moving through emotions, so feel free to do that. Okay. I hope that was helpful for those of you who are here live, or if you're listening later on the podcast to this whole call. Okay, I'm going to read a few of your comments here. Hannah said, I feel calm. I'm not going to lie. This feeling of overwhelm is present, but I feel so supported at school and on this call as well. Yes, Hannah. And I do feel like those can coexist, right? Like I feel calm. I feel calm on this call. And yet I still notice the overwhelm. It hasn't completely gone away, right? But as we move through the emotion, we notice it start to dissipate, meaning that it lowers, right? The severity of it isn't as heavy as it was before. We can feel lighter. Even as we still carry some of that overwhelm with us, we can feel a lot lighter. Kate says, I'm exhausted and overwhelmed. So much going on, but breath helps. It calms me down. Kate, I'm so glad that helped you. The stretching, I forget it helped. Stretching really helps. I've actually started doing more stretching and yoga. When I interviewed Brett Larkin, it was really like, I want to start yoga, and it's been good. So stretching really helps us move through the emotions and everything too. Okay, so a few questions I have for those who would like to either put it in the chat or just think about it on your own. Either way works. So if you want to process that experience, what did you notice during that practice today? Before versus after, do you feel the same? Do you feel different? And there's not a right or wrong here. You're not answering to please me, okay? I don't need you people pleasing me. I need you being true to yourself. So how does it feel before or after? How did it go? There's no right or wrong. Was it easy to stay connected and really be in the moment with the meditation, with the practice, or did your mind wander a little bit? Either way, there's no right or wrong. Just notice it. And if anybody, again, wants to put anything in the chat, we can talk that over. Kate says her mind wandered. That's totally fine. That's valid. My mind has actually, in my meditations, been wandering more this week than usual. And it's just something I noticed. I'm like, okay, I must be more overwhelmed. And the funny thing is, when you're more overwhelmed, I feel like you have an easier time with your mind wandering. And what I found the cure for that, cure per se, at least that helps me, is to just do it more, which is kind of hard when you have a lot going on. But we can do our best with it, right? Marie Chris says, it's hard. I have my kids in the background. Hey, it's okay. You're all still here. And I'm proud of you for doing it, for trying. And when you're distracted, making dinner or whatever, even if you got a few minutes, or even just help you calm a little bit while you're multitasking, it's totally fine. I do that too. Vanessa said, too distracted right now making dinner, but I want to listen before bed to decompress the day and before day starts to get ready. Yes. And we will have this we'll get it on the private podcast right away. We're also going to load it into the app, and I'm hoping. There have been a few hiccups with getting it submitted to the app stores, just things I didn't realize I needed to do. Not like bad things, but getting set up with Apple and Google, but hoping to get the app. So those of you who would like to start beta testing it in 3 weeks, I'm hoping. Marie Chris said, I love to do this before going to sleep so I can go straight to sleep. Yes, I love meditations right before going to sleep. And we do plan on in the app having some meditations that aren't just live, but pre-recorded ones that you could play anytime too. So as you start doing it more, and we'll have some that are just 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 15 minutes probably max, for you to be able to do it anytime. I have visualized ones like recess, reset. So you can have like a little reset during recess, or ones for homeschool too, Marie Chris, and for both, right? And I'm just really excited about adding that too. Hannah says, I was able to focus, but midway my mind started wandering, but then I was able to reconnect. The body scan helped. Yes, and that's perfect, because this is what happens in life too. And I think meditation is a practice for life. In life, we find ourselves like our mind wandering, or the life version of that is, oh, I'm not doing exactly what I wanted. Like yesterday when my husband had surgery, oh, look, I'm eating a donut, and I was not supposed to, according to my plan, be eating a donut right now. But I didn't beat myself up about it, right? I was just like, oh, interesting. I ate a donut. I was stressed. It's okay. Now I'm going to get back on it, right? And that's what meditation honestly teaches us. It's a lesson in and of itself, is that our mind will wander and we bring ourselves back. It's a like actual practice of that comeback rate that we want to have, not only in meditation, but also in life too. Oh, I'm loving your comments here. Marie Chris says, I tried to have my kids do it with us, but it did not make them calm down. That's okay. Ooh, I love this in the app. My youngest, he will actually, it's funny. My 4-year-old is the one who will do meditation with me. My older two, no, it's so funny. Some kids will want to do it. Some won't. Okay. I'm also open for anybody. If you want to raise your hand and come on and coach, we've got another 20 minutes of this call that is open. Again, if everybody here's like, I'm good, I don't need to be coached on anything, I got what I needed. This is just the space, the container that I have available to all of you today. So if anybody would like to raise their hand, let's see, do we have any hands raised right now? Let me check. I don't see any right now. But if anybody would like to come on and get coached, and it can be like mindset coaching like we do, but it can also be like, you just want to kind of talk through what you just went through, or what are you feeling, or if you didn't feel like it quite processed and you want a little bit more, or whatever it is that you need. I am here if you want to raise your hand, if you want to talk, or put it in the chat. And if you're listening in the future, I just want to explain a little bit for right now. I don't see any hands up, and I never want to pressure people to raise their hands and come on. But my calls this month, again, like I mentioned, I'll have about 20 minutes of content. And you see right now what I've been doing is, this is not like, again, I finished my content at the end of that meditation, right? But now I'm just reading the comments and helping those who are here with what they need. Okay, I'm stopping that clip now because I never air coaching here on the public podcast without permission. And then I just got into some announcements and current things for members, which are not going to be relevant here on the podcast right now. But I encourage you to ponder, or even write down the answers to those questions that I asked if you're in this space to do that. You can even replay this. You can save this practice so you can do it over and over again. This is a practice of meditation that you can come back to. Remember to save it so you can find it easily. And if you found this exercise helpful, what I would love is, because what I love about this work is the ripple effect it creates, right? So I've learned all this work, done this personal work myself, and now I've been able to help others with it too. But then now each of you as educators get to go out and make that ripple effect. You teach it to your students, or share it with your teacher friends, or with your partners, or with whoever in your life. So please share it with somebody else who would find it helpful. Like, just pass it on. This podcast is free, so share the link. And we will also, if you loved this and you're like, wait, I want more, we have many more exercises like this that will be pre-recorded rather than live, coming into the Educate and Rejuvenate app for our members. And we'll have many that are like 5 to 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, or some 20 minutes or more if you want longer ones. So you'll be able to just hit on the go, be able to have it without even an intro and outro, just jump right in, pre-recorded, ready for you. Though we'll probably continue to do them live in the club every so often too. So if you're a member of the club, I'm going to add this to our mix of type of calls that we do in there. So if you're a member of the club, stay tuned and watch your email for when the app is coming, when you'll get the pre-recorded meditations, when the next live call like this will be. Stay tuned. And if you're not and would like to learn more about how to make educating and rejuvenating a lifestyle, to, be the best educator you can be and teach in fun and creative and exciting ways, be reinvigorated in your teaching, but also rejuvenate yourself. And not just like a bubble bath, not just like doing your nails, but at a soul level, processing your emotions, understanding your needs, everything, making all of that a lifestyle, and have a community of like-hearted educators who are doing the same, rather than Educate and Rejuvenate just being a podcast you listen to. The podcast is great, but the community really brings it to the next level. Go to educateandrejuvenate.com/join to learn more. We have a lifetime option if you're like, I'm going all in with this work, that allows you to join forever. You get forever access to all the resources, the coaching, coming to the Educate and Rejuvenate events, the app, the meditations, all of it. Even the side hustle sessions that, again, I feel like we haven't been talking about this enough, but those of you who have a side hustle, like maybe those sessions alone could help you make the money to pay for it, right? So we've got a lifetime option that allows you to go all in. It even has a PayPal payment plan option. So if you get approved of PayPal for pay in for or pay monthly for 12 months, I believe it is, but you get in for life. Or if that doesn't work for you, totally fine. We also have subscription options, which are a wonderful option. I don't care which plan you join. I really just want you to join in whatever way you can. We have monthly, we have quarterly, we have annual. We try to make it super accessible that we can for a coaching membership. Keeping in mind, this isn't just like a resource membership. This is like huge support. I am here as your cheerleader. My team is here. We've got your coaches. We've got your resources. Like, it is an investment, but it is an investment in yourself. So if you have any questions about it, DM me on Instagram or send us an email to hello@educateandrejuvenate.com. Or to learn more, just go to educateandrejuvenate.com/join. Check out the link in the show notes. I would love to have you join our community. And next time on the podcast, stay tuned. We're going to have part of our panel from our last Educate and Rejuvenate. You're going to get to hear from all of our incredible coaches. So don't go anywhere. Make sure you're subscribed to this podcast so you don't miss an episode and the free support that we offer here. Okay, we'll talk soon. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And if you're hungry for more, be sure to check out the book that I wrote. It's called Educate and Rejuvenate, a 3-step guide to revitalize your teaching, renew your spirit, and reignite your passion for life. It is scheduled to be released in the summer of 2024. This book takes all the life coaching skills we talk about here on the podcast and puts them together in one easy to understand guide. Plus, when you pre-order, you'll receive a PDF workbook and additional resources to deepen your understanding and application of the concepts we've covered on the book and on this podcast. You won't find these resources anywhere else. Visit the link in the show notes to join the waitlist and be the first to know when the book becomes available for pre-order. Let's continue this journey of growth and rejuvenation together. Until next time.